So the building's done. This is day 8. Technically, it's really only day 6 of the construction, but you know, doing the holes, pouring concrete, you know, that was 2 days. But regardless, it's done. So I'll go ahead, show you a time lapse of what happened today, and then we'll run through everything. I'll kind of show you some of the details. But yeah. So day 8 was a success. I mean, they got everything finished up, so it was a good day. We ran into some issues, but they were able to kind of work around that. The main thing is the cupolas were not built correctly, so we spent all that time waiting for them, and they were for a standard pitch roof. So fortunately, they were able to run back to the place where they got them from, get some more material so that they would fit onto this pitch. Basically, they just added some trim to it. But it works. I got the cupolas up, got the weather vanes installed, garage doors in, finished up the side, finished up the porch, and then they got the gutters and spouting put in as well. So I was a little surprised, to be honest, that they got it finished, but you know, I'm glad they did. The black ceiling, I think, really turned out nice. I mean, it's dirty, so you know, don't mind that, but I mean, it looks really slick. So I did not go with the textured black like I did on everything else. So this is just a smooth black. You know, I figured it's more reflective. You know, I think it really turned out well for the ceiling. So on this side of the building, I've got 2 downspouts. You know, they run the full length of the building. So one thing I need to do here is I need to install some underground downspout drains, just because, I mean, you can see here we got a little bit of rain. You know, it's already eroding away here. Now it's just going to go down into the woods. So, you know, it's going to be pretty easy just to dig up this, you know, what is that, 20 feet probably through here, 20-foot section here, probably not even a 20-foot section back there, because back here I can actually run it out instead of straight to the side. I'll probably actually run it out this direction, which is a lot closer. But you know, there's some water pooling right here. But the good thing is, for the most part, now you do see some water right here. That's from this downspout. And over here, that looks like water, kind of, but it's actually just kind of a damp spot. But for the most part, like the whole length of the building, there's no water sitting, which hasn't been the case. So, you know, I got in there with the skid loader and dug that out a little bit, tried to make it a little bit better, and it seems to have worked. So that's good. So I had that storm pass through, and one thing I noticed is my barn is going to get incredibly dirty. I mean, there's just dirt and mud kicked up, you know, probably 3 feet high. And so that I need to get this landscaping in. I'm going to do landscaping around the whole thing. I think that'll definitely cut down on there if it's not just, you know, bare ground against the building. You know, I'm just going to put some stone in through here, maybe some railroad tie borders or something pretty simple, and then just put stone in there. That way that'll stay clean and I won't have this problem. So this downspout here is the only one I didn't run on the opposite side of the building. You know, this is for the porch. So if I had run it on the opposite side of the building, I would have had to put the drainage under where I have the main drive coming in for this barn. So I figured if I bring it out on this side, there's a good chance that back along this area here, I'm going to go ahead and put some drainage in anyways. So I can just take this out and tie into it. I did go ahead and have a few more loads of overburden brought in to kind of build this section up, and then down here I also wanted to kind of make the driveway section that I'd put in a little bit bigger. You know, through this process it was easy to see that the driveway wasn't quite big enough, especially when there's trailers and stuff turning around here. So I had a few more loads brought in. I kind of got that worked out here as well. So I do still have some more work to do with it, but I just kind of wanted to get it roughed in and then see what I wanted to do from there. So I was able to pick out the weather vane that I wanted. Went with a buck. You know, here on our farm, that's the main thing that I'm farming for. So we'll see if that changes over the years, but figured that was an appropriate weather vane for now. So one thing you might notice if you're looking at a front view of the barn is this big gap on the garage door. And you might be wondering, you know, why is that all jacked up? Well, it was done intentionally. So the idea here was, so a lot of times pole barns like this, they'll either pour the pad first and then put the barn up. Seen it done that way a lot of times. Or, you know, the barn is constructed and basically immediately afterwards the concrete is poured. Kind of the bottom skirt board acts as you know, the form for the concrete pad. So, but in this case, my thought was, you know, I would like to have concrete. That is, you know, a plan. I just don't know how immediate it's going to be. So kind of what I was thinking is concrete is super expensive right now. So if I factored concrete into my cost of putting this barn up, I would have a fraction of the barn that I have right now. So the idea was build the barn exactly how I want it as far as the shell is concerned, and then worry about the add-ons later. That way, I've heard, I don't know, countless times, one of the big things people say after they put one of these up is, you know, I wish I had made it bigger. So I didn't want that to be the case here. So wanted to do it exactly how I wanted, plus a little bit, and then, you know, future projects, you know, we'll make it into our dream garage or barn, basically. So the idea behind this gap is to leave room for concrete. So I'm not sure if it's going to be exact. If it's not, you know, I can deal with that at a later time. So basically what we did is we took a 6x6 and put it right there on either edge, so that the garage door can come down and sit flush on something for the time being. So I'm gonna also have crushed stone brought in for this drive out here, and when I do that, you know, I'll slightly mound it up here, similar to what you would have if you had concrete. You know, whenever you come out of your garage, once you hit the door, it's usually going to taper down. So that's basically the same thing I'm going to do with the stone. You know, it's not going to be a tight seal by any means, but this just seemed like the best solution, where I wasn't going to have concrete initially, but it was in the plans eventually. So one problem I have is all this water that's sitting in the barn. It came in here before, you know, the roof was up and everything, but it kind of just sat in here. I did come through and smooth everything out with a bucket, you know, just so it's a little bit nicer, but, you know, the water has not gone away yet. So I'm not really sure what to do. One thing I have noticed is there's no water. I can't see water coming in anywhere, so that's good. This is just the water that's been here the whole time. But the sun's not hitting it, it's not drying it out. So I don't know if I'm just gonna have to wait forever for it to dry or what. I mean, if you have any ideas, shoot me a comment or something. Um, Try to get this cleaned up in here so, I can really start using it. I appreciate you watching. Go ahead and give this video a like if you can. Subscribe to this channel. If you haven't watched the other days of the build yet, go back and take a look at those. I'm going to be doing a lot of DIY on this barn to make it, a finished product. So follow along if you're interested in that kind of thing, or maybe you're looking for ideas for your own barn. Also, feel free to shoot me a comment if you have any good ideas on things that I should be doing with this barn in the future. Outside of this barn build, we're going to have a bunch of projects turning this forgotten piece of land into our dream property. Along the way, there's going to be plenty of fishing, farming, hunting, all kinds of cool stuff. So again, give our channel a follow and really appreciate you watching. Thanks.